Human capital is very important to one's country's development. Everyone has their own perception of why the country economy is not expanding as it should. But for me, the major blows Jamaica suffers is under development of human capital. And looking at your screen, you will see a diagram representing what human capital is, as many of you are unfamiliar with the term. So, human capital is basically the value that is placed on each individual of a country. And these are the values that each individual take on to himself to better improve one's position for a job or higher purpose. So IMF deliberately and strategically destroyed Jamaica using a systematic approach. So when I talk about IMF and Jamaica, I'm talking about Andrew Holness and IMF. Because IMF did this because they could not directly destroy or attack the people of this country. They had to use our government to do so. So in order for IMF to be successful, they had to weaken the government, which the government agrees to. So IMF sanctioned on Jamaica for borrowing loans caused the government to reverse its independence. So remember, IMF was created for the US and its 44 allies, and America is the leader of IMF. So America and IMF agendas are the same, and I don't see the disparity between the two entities. So give me a chance to explain how the Jamaica independence was reversed. So when IMF gave the government past leaders and current ones sanctions systematically to sell out and give up Jamaica's enterprise to foreign investors to weaken government influence over the people. So this happened because there are no enterprise left that is making money. So the government cannot invest as much to develop human capitals in school. So our schools are quantitized. Yes, we have whole heap of school. But when it comes down to quality education, that is not there. So when it comes down to international standards and quality in our schools, there is no such system in place. So when the government reverses its independence in favor of the IMF, it gives America what it wanted, pushing free market, which in turn suffers our own human capitals development. So a lot of people couldn't go to school. Some attended irregularly, while others were rushed through the school system entirely. Because of poverty, it was a total chaos. So this is America's desired outcome for Jamaicans, because if the people were to be given quality education, then our human capital value would be so high that the plans that the IMF had for us to work in sweatshops, free zones, and in modern times call centers would never had happened, and no way they could justify their action. So for example, if you're planning a crime, you would premeditate the crime to ensure you got away with it, right? So even if everyone knew you did it, they could never find evidence or prove you did it. So America destroyed Jamaica deliberately, and most governments agree with it to gain favor with them. So some way, somehow, they benefit as leaders of Jamaica. So I am talking about the Prime Minister Andrew Holness, because it is obvious that he and his team are aware of what they are signing up for, and they know the outcome for Jamaican people. So look at Andrew Holness smiling and behaving like IMF good for the country, when he knows how much we are going to suffer their partnership. It's like this man is personally on their payroll. He is obviously benefiting some way, somehow. So this is something I noticed through the years. JLP cannot exist without the IMF. And even though PMP got rid of IMF, I cannot forgive them for not buying back any of our governmental enterprise that they sold to private investors. So if you are not doing that, then you are not interested in our human capital development. So that is the charge I have on PMP for not developing human capital. So here we are now as Jamaicans cleaning people shit, hustling and stars to survive. We cannot travel with pride. We suffer homelessness overseas, working 3 to 4 jobs. It is terrible. Jamaica is falling into America's trap of keeping us in this predicament forever. So each government that comes, they don't try to make human capital development their priority. They try to tell you that it's because they don't have enough money. It's not money. It's a deal that they made with the IMF. No more tricking the people, Mr. Andrew Holness. Giving those with degrees call center jobs equivalent to recent high school graduates with or without CXC subjects is not a win, Mr. Holness. Giving young people oversaturated trade skill so you can meet the unemployment rate quota for IMF loan is not going to cut it either. So an example how poor the human capital development is. Jamaica full of restaurants and cook shop, but you're still hungry. The food choice is limited and everybody is selling the same thing. Look at our mechanics, for example. Jamaica are so numerous with mechanics, but they still cannot meet the requirement to fix these nowadays modern vehicles such as Audi and the Range Rover, BMW, etc. People have to be shipping them overseas to get them fixed. And the reason for that is a limiting in human capital development. They are still selling you the same old skills, and there are so many advances that is done to these skills, and they are not giving you these advancement in the country. They keep you under one level. So the creativity of Jamaica youths are not developed, are utilized. Why you think there is a surge in scamming during Andrew Holness leadership? Everybody running on to claim dunceness, and people, this is not a slang. It's just Jamaican youths' subconscious mind being aware of what is really going on. So my people, America and the IMF are the same for every black nation across the globe. They overexploit Africa and other black communities, destroy the human capital, and then label black people as weak. No powerful black leader exists anymore, and black people are not strong like those of the past. Nowadays, they are settled for anything. Before I follow the American view of the black race and put them down, I prefer to believe that the black race doesn't exist anymore. So even though Andrew free up the Art Trust program and only a few persons going to partake, they should not pat themselves on the back and say they are providing opportunities for young people, nor should they label the youths as greedy, entitled, or lazy. Not everybody can fit in the hospitality industry. Not everybody wants to work for little or nothing. And not everybody running down modern day slavery. So Jamaicans don't need your papers to work menial jobs. Jamaicans access these jobs themselves in Canada. The same in US and Japan, etc. Because even if the compensation is just a little bit better, they are rewarded for their work through tips or other merits. It would better Jamaica had gone to China for help. Hold on. Did I say China? Yes, man, China. And let me explain. Everything IMF does is to keep down and control Jamaica and stop anyone from coming to our aid. So, for example, to drive fear in people, they tell us China is buying out Jamaica and leading us into a debt trap. These allegations are not true. China as a country who is for their people have on numerous occasions tried to open our government eyes, including Andrew Holness, to our needs and how they should better help us. But because the government would rather please America and continue to rob us of a better country, they keep China's real intention hidden. So China does not debt trap any country, but build needed infrastructure, roads, bridges, homes, hospital, and provide economic bailouts from bankruptcies and the IMF. For example, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Africa, Honduras, and Barbados. Did I say Barbados? Yes, man, Barbados. So using Barbados as another example, I will show you how they have benefited from China versus Jamaica. So to seek independence from the British, Jamaica and Barbados had the same vision of being for the people, but ended up facing the same economic issues in the early years. So being for the people meant that meeting the needs of every citizen was the government's top priority. So happy and healthy people means a progressive country in return. But our encounter with the IMF destroyed this possibility. So although IMF also damaged Barbados, preventing them from having an education system, even up to this day, Barbados doesn't have an education system. They were still determined to put their people first, regardless. So because Barbados believed in China's movement for the People Republic of China began to invest, helping to support Barbados' human capital. So in 1986, they built a gymnasium for Barbados. In 1994, they built a conference and a cultural center for Barbados. In 2004, Barbados became a tourist destination for China. So 2005 now, Bridgetown Market building, China responsible for that the development there. So 2009 to 2016, both countries had a joint military expansion. Then in a 2014, they have visa waiver agreement to freely travel between both countries. In addition to that, in 2019, they have Belt and Road Initiative Trade Agreement, and in 2020, China donated 36 rechargeable electric buses to Barbados. So now we are going to look at a contrast with Jamaica now. So in 2008, China approached Jamaica with hopes of providing technical training to more than 2,000 Jamaicans, but was chased away by the government to keep favor with the IMF. I said 2008. Who was the leader? Which party was leading Jamaica in 2008? It was the same JLP, Bruce Golding. So they chase away China because they do not interested in human capital development. So IMF allow China, look, IMF now, allow China Harbour Engineering Company to build and open the 67 kilometer Jamaica North-South Highway in 2014, to land us in a 730 million US dollar debt. We could have gotten that for free, but because of IMF, they have to give Jamaica that as a loan. So both Jamaica and Barbados owe IMF a debt. So for Jamaica owe IMF a debt of 700 million US dollars. And also for Barbados, just 137 million US. And when it comes down to China now, Jamaica owes China a debt of 79 billion US dollars. 79 billion US dollars. We just have like 18 billion US dollars at Jamaica a year time, and figure owe China 79 billion US dollars. So far, look at Barbados now. Barbados just owe them 405 million US dollars respectively. So cheap and easy. So the major difference between Jamaica and Barbados debt to China is that Barbados does not owe China for the investment made to develop their country and improve the lives of their people, because China and Barbados believe in human capital development. So China's best citizens travel to Barbados for vacation. China's best citizens travel to Barbados for vacation. But Jamaica now invited the exile and former criminal citizens of China to be a part of our economy and society. So because of this so-called IMF entity, both countries were forced to make tourism their main economic source. So 17.5% of Barbados' economy is tourism, and over 30% of Jamaica's is tourism. So yet still Barbados is able to pay 1,600 US dollars minimum wage per month to their people, while Jamaica choose to pay 350 US dollar minimum wage per month to its people. So Jamaica is still today being manipulated by IMF and its sanction, and the Prime Minister dares to come to the nation as if everything is alright, trying to hide their corrupt and evil ways. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you subscribe to the channel and share your comments below.